Good morning, grade 3. For today, we are going to talk about money. Okay, so to start with, um, we are going to compare certain currencies to centavos, okay, or cents. Here in the Philippines, we call them centavos, okay. Um, let's take a certain currency, for example, dollars and even pesos, okay. All of the other currencies can be converted into cents, or in our case, sa Philippines, we call them centavos, okay. For every dollar or every currency, let's say $1, it is actually equivalent to 100 cents or 100 centavos. Okay. So even if it's 1 peso, it is still 100 centavos. Okay. So which means for every dollar, for every peso, there's 100 cents. So in this case, we are just only going to focus in one currency. And since your book indicates dollars, we are going to make use of dollars as well. For your book, by the way, this refers to the Singaporean dollars, not the US dollars. Okay, so but they are still the same. USD, US dollars, Singaporean dollars, they still have the same equivalent. $1 is equivalent to 100 centavos or cents. Okay, so more examples for you to get the concept. Since $1 is equivalent to 100 cents, it means that $2 rather is equivalent to 200 cents. $5 will basically give you 500 cents. $10 will give you 1,000 cents. Now, Teacher Mark, what if we go smaller than $1? Okay, smaller than $1, if you have 0.90 dollars, this will give you an equivalent of 90 cents. What if you have 0.50 dollars? This will give you 50 cents. What if you have 0.30 dollars? This will give you 30 cents. What if it's 0.10 dollars? This will give you 10 cents. Now, Teacher Mark, what if we have 0.05 dollars? This will give you 5 cents. Okay. I hope that you get the logic there. Okay. And all this, anyway, by the way, this actually shows us that since every dollar is equivalent to 100 cents, it means that we basically move two decimal places to the right from dollars if we are going to convert dollars to cents. Okay. If we are talking about dollars to cents or any currency aside from dollars to cents, we actually just move two decimal places to the right. Okay, so this is a technique. Teacher Mark, what do you mean by that? I don't get it. Okay, moving to decimal places. This is your decimal place here. This is your decimal originally. For example, let's work from the bottom to top. This is your original decimal earlier. So if I tell you to move two decimal places to the right, it means that you're going to move two decimal places to the right. And once you have moved the decimal here, you are now left with just 5, which gives you 5 cents. Okay, because the other zeros, you don't write this number. Teacher Mark, I have 0.005 cents. Do you say that? Teacher Mark, I have 0.005 pesos. No one says that. If you only have 5, you just say 5. No 0.000. Okay? So, doing the same, 1, 2. There you go. That's why you have 10. 1, 2. That's why you have 30. 1, 2. That's why you have 50. The same goes for 90. Now, Teacher Mark, how about $10? The $10 doesn't have a decimal point. Okay. But just to let you know that every whole number, it can be 5, it can be 7, it can be 100, 600, 1000. All basically whole numbers, they have a decimal point after the number. It's just that we don't need to write them since there are no certain values after them. So in other words, they are basically invisible. Okay. So in this case, since like what I've said, there is a decimal after every whole number. So for example, for 10, there is an invisible decimal there. And moving two decimal places to the right, that's 1, 2, which gives us two empty spaces. And for these two empty spaces, you fill them up with zeros. 1, 2. That explains why you now have 1,000 cents. The same goes for 5. Decimal here after the whole number, move to decimal places. 1, 2. Two empty spaces again. 1, 2, which gives us 500. For 2 as well. 1, 2, 0, 0, which explains the 200. And the same goes for $1. 1, 2, 1, 2. That explains why we ended up with 100 cents. Okay? So that is the logic when we convert dollars to cents. Now, Teacher Mark, what if we do it the other way around? Okay, let's try to do it the other way around. What if it's cents to dollars? Well, obviously, since dollars to cents, we move two decimal places to the right. For cents to dollars, we move two decimals or two decimal places to the left. Since we're doing the opposite, you do it the other way around as well. Okay, so just to show you, let's say we have 300 cents. 300 cents logically, like what, let's start with 1 rather. 100 cents, knowing that 100 cents is equivalent to $1. 300 cents logically will give you $3. 700 cents will give you $7. Okay? What if you have 2,000 cents? So technically this will give you $20. If you have 5,000 cents, this means that you have $50 or $50. Now, Teacher Mark, what if we have less than 100 cents? What if we only have 70 cents? So this will give you $0.70. What if we only have 65 cents? So this will give you $0.65. What if you have only 10 cents? So basically this will give you $0.10. And what if you only have 3 cents? This will only give you $0.03. Okay, to show the conversion, move two decimal places to the left. In this case, to the left. Earlier, we are moving two decimal places to the right. Diba? From this point going there to the right. Now, we move two decimal places to the left, which means from this point to the left. I hope this is clear. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, from our original value, since it's cents to dollars, we start with cents. Every whole number have their decimal places after them. So which means we have an invisible decimal here. Moving two decimal places to the left, we have 1, 2. And if you notice, we now have an empty space here. That's why we fill it up with 0.3, which explains the 0.3 over there with the decimal point here. Okay? The same thing for 10 cents. 1, 2. Decimal point here and explains the 10 there. 65, 1, 2. Decimal place there explains the 65. 1, 2. Decimal point is there, which explains the remaining 70. Now for 5,000 cents, we have 0 here after the decimal, diba? It's always after the whole number. We have a decimal point. So 1, 2, which explains we only have 50. Teacher Mark, can we add a point here and add 2 zeros? Yes. Because $50 or 50 is just the same as 50.0 and is also just the same as 50.00. And even if you're going to add lots of zeros, this will still be just the same as 50. Okay? So the same thing, two decimal places. That's why it now leaves us with 20. Teacher Mark, can we add that 0.00 again? Yes, it's up to you. No problem. 1, 2, 0, 0 again. Sure. 1, 2. That explains the 3. If you want to add a 0, 0, it's up to you. The same goes for 1. Okay? So that's basically how you change dollars to cents and cents to dollars, the other way around. Okay? Okay, always remember that for every dollar, let's say $1, it is equivalent to 100 cents. That's your main point here. This is what you're supposed to understand, yung logic niyan. So which means, if I'm gonna break down $1 into cents, two parts. If one is 50 cents, how much should be the other part? Okay, knowing that $1 is equivalent to 100 cents. So which means if you're going to add this two, this should give you also a total of 100 cents. And since this part is 50, what should be the value of this one over here? Okay, some of you might be able to get it logically. Some of you might not get it logically. Okay. So yung ibig sabihin niyan, some of you will be able to tell me, Teacher Mark, it's 50 cents as well. Good. Others might now ask, Teacher Mark, how did he or she get 50 cents? So all you have to do is just to get your 100 cents and subtract the given centavos, which is in this case is 50 cents. So after subtracting, you'll find out that we have 0 minus 0. 0 minus 5 cannot be, so you borrow. Eventually, it will still be 10. So 10 minus 5 will give you 50. So therefore, this is what you end up with. Okay, another example. Again, we have $1 and we are going to break it down to two parts. If one part is equivalent to 30 cents, what should be the value of the other one? Then again, the logic here, you should know that if you're going to add both, they should add up to 100 cents. And then again, like what I've said earlier, some of you will be able to get the answer immediately, while some of you will be puzzled on what to do. Again, the procedure is, since knowing that the total is 100 cents, so we can now take 100 cents and take the partial given value, which is 30. And all you have to do is just to subtract them. 100 minus 30 cents. 0 minus 0 will give you 0. 0 minus 3 cannot be, so you borrow, which eventually will still give you 10. So 10 minus 3 will give you 7. So we now have an equivalent of 70 centavos, which means the value here is 70 cents. Okay? So, just the same thing. It's just basically similar to having 30 cents plus blank will give you 100 cents. So, in this case, since you already did the process earlier, you should now know that is equivalent to 70 centavos. Now, another example, but I'm not gonna give it this way. I'm gonna give it as a mathematical sentence. Okay? So let's say we have 45 cents plus blank will give you 100 centavos. Now, what are you supposed to do here now? Then again, getting the total value, which is in this case is 100 cents. All you have to do here is to subtract the given partial value, which is 45 cents. 0 minus 5 cannot be. So we need to borrow from the next number, which is 0. But in this case, since it's 0, you cannot borrow from it. So 0 should borrow from 1 first. This one should become 0 and this 0 should become 10. Now, this 0 can borrow from 10 na. So 10 will become 9 and 0 will become 10. Basic subtraction yan. You should already know what to do here. Okay? Dinaanan nyo yan. 10 minus 5 will give you 5. 9 minus 4 will give you 5. So that's equivalent of 55 centavos, which means our answer here should be 55 cents. Okay? Logic. Basic. Now we also have breaking down the number. Okay, breaking down the number. For example, we have, what if we put them together? What if it's equivalent to, like, for example, $7.25? What if I'm gonna ask you to break it down to dollars and cents? So obviously for your dollars, you have 7. And for your cents, you have $0.25. Okay, always remember that the original form of your centavos here or cents is $0.25. It is still in dollar form. Okay, which means you need to change this into centavos. And that's by simply moving two decimal places to the right. 1, 2. Which now leaves us with 25 cents. Okay, so ganun lang kadali yung pag-breakdown natin ng number. And all you have to do after is just to, if there are other numbers pa, for example lang, let's say you have $3 or $3.10, breaking them down to dollars and cents. And we have another one, which is, let's say, $4.25, and also breaking them down to dollars and cents. Anong gagawin natin dito? The same thing. $4 we have 3. $4 here we have 4. And for our cents, again, this is in dollar form. So $0.10 yan. Converting it to cents, it should give us 10 cents. The same thing here, this should give us 25 cents. Now, you will be asked to put them together, which means you have to express all this to just dollars. Okay? Pero before that, express nyo muna sa comfortable what is given right now. You should add them all up first, $2 and centavos. Okay? Meron tayong dollars, meron tayong cents. So all you have to do here is just to take the dollars first. 3 plus 4 will give you 7. And 10 plus 25 will give you 35 cents. Expressing this number as a dollar alone. So this should be equivalent to $7.35. Okay? So breaking down the numbers to dollars and cents, adding them all up, and giving us the answer. So technically, to check this, you can actually just add them. And adding money is actually easy. When you add or subtract money, there's one rule. What's the number one rule? Align the decimal, sorry, points. So to check if this is correct, let's take $3.10 and let's try to add it with $4.25. Now, Teacher Mark, what do you mean by align the decimal points? Tignan nyo yung point. So if you're going to write them down vertically, make sure that your decimal points are going to align or meet this point. Make sure that they are going to align because that's how you are supposed to add them. 4.25. Okay? Which means you are not supposed to add it this way. 3.10 plus 4.25. No, you don't add it that way. That is wrong. You have to align the decimal points. Okay? From here, which means since you have two decimal points here, aligning it here, there should also be a decimal point here. So adding up everything, 0 plus 5 will give you 5, 1 plus 2 will give you 3, 3 plus 4 will give you 7. Adding up everything, that's 7.35. Let's check if we have the same answer here. And it's also 7.35. Okay? So that's basically how you deal with dollars and centavos. You can break them down. You can put them together again. So that's it. That's basically it for today.